Jesus Christ himself said they are not of his sheep. Now we know who it was who constituted the Jews in Jesus Christ's time. If you want to bring it down to date and find out who are the Jews in our own day, we must add one more racial element. Of course, the descendants of the Jews of Jesus Christ's day are among them, but there is also another element, the Khazars. These make up the Slavic and Germanic Jews of today. Meanwhile, we must return to the Jews of Palestine for a few words. As you know, by A.D. 68, the Romans had found the rascality of the Palestinian Jews so intolerable that they began the campaign which resulted in the fall of Jerusalem in A.D. 70. Nearly all the Jews were then expelled from Palestine, and most of them migrated in large numbers to what was then called Byzantium, later called Constantinople, and today is known as Istanbul, facing the Bosphorus, outlet of the Black Sea. Here again they demonstrated the truth of the Bible's lesson, that conduct is the product of character, or in Jesus Christ's own words, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do." By about the year 300 A.D., their rascality had again become so intolerable that they were again expelled, and they moved northeast across the Black Sea into the Khazar kingdom. About the year 150 A.D., the Khazars, an Asiatic people related to the Turks, migrated westward from Central Asia and established a great empire which covered what is today southwestern Russia, north of the Aral Sea, the Caspian Sea, and the Black Sea, and including the Don and Dnieper valleys and the Crimea. About the year 740 A.D., Bulan, the Khagan, or king of the Khazars, was converted to the religion of Judaism, together with some 4,000 of the most powerful nobility of the kingdom. In those days it was not healthful for a subject to be in religious conflict with his king or with the baron on whose land he lived. So in due course, most of the Khazars became Jews by religion. In fact, it became part of the kingdom's constitution that no one but a Jew by religion could be king. The principal languages spoken were the Khazar language, which is called Yiddish today, and Turkish. During the great invasion by the Mongols under Genghis Khan, many of the Judaized Khazars were dispersed into what is now Poland and Lithuania. These Khazars, Jews by religion, constitute the Slavic Jews today, those with names such as Minsky and Baranov and Moskovitz, the latter often shortened to Mosk, as you will note. Also, since much of the western part of this area has been at one time or another ruled by Austrian or Germanic peoples who brought in their own language, these Khazars also took Germanic names, such as Gold or Goldberg, Rosenberg, Eisler, and so forth. And if you are wondering how they can be so much like the other Jews, historical documents written at the time the Khazar Empire was at its greatest height refer to their tradition that their ancestors originally came from the region of Mount Seir, which is Edom, the home of the Edomite Jews. If you wish to look up further details, you will find brief articles on the Khazars in various encyclopedias, such as the Britannica. The Jewish Encyclopedia has 6 pages on it. In some it is spelled Khazar, in others Chazar, and even other variations. It is also discussed in A History of the Jews by Solomon Grazel and A History of the Jews by Professor H. Gratz, both works being published by the Jewish Publication Society of America. The most thorough discussion of the whole problem is found in that magnificent bit of historical research, The Iron Curtain Over America, by Colonel John Beatty. Colonel Beatty is an historian and professor of history whose works are used as textbooks in more than 700 colleges and universities. Iron Curtain Over America is one of the most thoroughly documented and accurate works ever put in print. It is well worth the $4 it costs. If you can't find a copy in your local bookstore, you can buy one by mail from Post Office Box 27895, Los Angeles 27, California. It should be in the library of every patriotic American and every good Christian. Perhaps you are now wondering why does my Bible sometimes speak well of the Jews? Such as Paul saying in Romans that the gospel of Christ is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. And in Acts, Paul saying that he was a Jew of Tarsus. If you will look up these few instances in a good concordance, such as Strong's, you will find that in each instance the translators have written the word Jew in English where it was not used in the original Greek from which they mistranslated it. In each instance, in the original Greek, the word used was Judaios, which does not mean Jew, but simply a Judean, a person whose home is in the land of Judea, or southern Palestine. In Greek, it does not have a religious or a racial connotation. It is a geographical term like Californian. A Californian could be white, black, brown, or yellow by race, and he could be Christian, Jew, Buddhist, or atheist. So also, a Judaios was merely a person who lived in Judea, where, as we saw, there were some Israelites of the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, but there were far more Canaanite Jews, and also a general mixture of Romans, Greeks, Syrians, Egyptians, and so forth. It is true that Christian salvation was first offered in the land of Judea, hence to those who were living there, the Judaios, and later, as the apostles traveled from city to city, it was soon offered to the Greeks. But it was never offered to the Jews as a preferred class, for you will remember that Jesus Christ taught only in impossible-to-understand parables when there were Jews around, and explained them privately to his disciples, explaining that he spoke among the Jews only in parables, lest at any time they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven them. Both Matthew 13, verses 10 to 15, and Mark 4, verses 10 to 12, record this. Jesus Christ was taking great pains to see that the Jews could not understand Christianity and be converted. He was preaching only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, the members of the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, which he said were his sheep, who knew his voice and followed him. The Jews he rejected as the children of their father, the devil. Now, to sum it all up, the Jews are not and never were any part of any tribe of Israel. They include various mixtures of Egyptian, Babylonian, and Canaanite peoples, the Edomites, and later also the Khazars. Jesus Christ was a pure-blooded Israelite of the tribe of Judah without any Jewish ancestry, and he was not a Jew by religion. Now think this over carefully. The group of nations which we loosely group under the term Anglo-Saxon, including the people of the British Isles, the Scandinavian nations, nearly all of Germany, Holland, some few of the people of France and Belgium, with the closely related people found in Austria, some of the Swiss, some of the Hungarians and North Italians, and their descendants now living in the United States, Canada, Australia, and South Africa. These people are the living descendants of the Israel of the Bible, blood brothers of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Aren't you proud of your ancestry?